Sometimes, the biggest battles we fight are not against the world, but against ourselves. We dream of success, plan for greatness, and say the same thing every night. I'll start tomorrow. But tomorrow never comes. Does it? This is the story of Arjun, a young boy who lived in a small town surrounded by hills and hope. He was smart, kind, and full of potential. But he had one weakness: procrastination. Every morning, Arjun would tell himself, "Today, I'll change. Today, I'll study harder. Today, I'll begin." But by evening, he would find 100 excuses. "I'm tired. I'll do it later. Tomorrow will be better." And just like that, days turned into months. His books gathered dust, his dreams grew smaller, and his confidence slowly faded. At night, he often looked at the moon through his window and whispered, "Why do I feel stuck? Why can't I move forward?" But the moon had no answers. One afternoon, Arjun's father, tired of seeing his son waste his talent, took him to an old wise man who lived on the edge of the town Guru Raman. He was known to guide lost souls and awaken lazy minds. When Arjun met him, Guru Raman smiled and said, "So, you are the boy who keeps waiting for the right time." Arjun lowered his head and said softly, "Yes, but I don't know why I can't change." The old man poured him a glass of water and said, "My boy, have you ever seen a river stop flowing just because it feels tired?" Arjun looked puzzled. Guru Raman continued, "Change doesn't begin when you feel ready. It begins when you take your first small step, even when you don't feel like it." He handed Arjun a jar and a bag of pebbles. He said, "Every day, if you complete one important task, something that moves you closer to your goal, put one pebble in this jar. If you fail to do it, leave it empty. Come back after 30 days. Arjun nodded, thinking it would be easy. But the first morning, he struggled. His mind wanted rest. His body wanted comfort. Still, he forced himself to read one chapter of his textbook and dropped the first pebble into the jar. The tiny sound of the stone hitting the glass gave him a strange satisfaction. The next day, he did it again. And the next. Some days he succeeded. Some days he failed. But he never quit. Days passed, and the pebbles began to collect. Not just in the jar, but in his spirit. At the end of the month, he returned to Guru Raman with the jar half full. "Master," he said, "I couldn't fill it completely." The old man smiled and said, "Before this, your jar was empty. You had 0 pebbles, 0 effort, 0 action. Now you have proof that small steps create real change." He picked up one pebble and held it to the sunlight. "This is not a stone," he said. "This is your discipline. This is your new habit. And if you collect enough of these, you'll build the life you once only dreamed of." Those words lit a spark in Arjun's heart. He went home and continued his practice. Every day, one small habit: reading, writing, exercising, helping someone, or learning something new. He didn't wait for motivation. He didn't wait for the perfect moment. He just showed up every single day. Months later, the boy who once said, "I'll start tomorrow," had transformed completely. He topped his exams. He started a small business online. He even inspired his friends to start their own jars of change. The lazy boy was gone. In his place stood a disciplined young man, calm, focused, and proud. He had learned that habits build destiny, and that consistency is more powerful than talent. My friend, this isn't just Arjun's story. It's yours too. Maybe you're waiting for the right time to chase your dream. Maybe you're saying, "I'll start when I'm ready." But here's the truth: you'll never feel ready. You just have to start, because one small action every day will do what motivation never can. It will transform you. So today, pick one habit. It doesn't have to be big, just something that moves you forward. And when you complete it, remember that sound. The sound of your first pebble hitting the jar of your new life. If this story inspired you, don't wait for tomorrow. Start today. And if you felt connected to Arjun's journey, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more stories that push you toward your better self. Because your new beginning starts now.